Ladies and gentlemen, we now bring to you this keynote, Role of Agile Project Management in the Era of Digital Transformation. And this particular session is brought to you by Project Management Institute. And our keynote speaker is Mr. Sumit Kumar Sinha, President, PMI West Bengal, Chapter and Head, Project Management Competency Function, Ericsson Global Services India. Before I welcome him onto the dais, a few words to introduce him. Mr. Sumit Kumar Sinha is a delivery leader with over 27 years of total experience in all phases of the software development life cycle, including 18 years in leadership roles in software delivery and consulting projects that involved project planning, managing tasks, managing the project team, interfacing with clients, users, and vendor organizations. He has implemented business and process measurements to sustain the organization's process capabilities, thereby improving the use of the processes based on performance measurements and assessments. He has demonstrated experience providing leadership to a corporate IT practice operating under cost, quality, and time constraints. A huge round of applause to Mr. Sumit Kumar Sinha as I welcome him onto the dais. A warm welcome to you, sir. And the stage is all yours. Warm welcome.
Thank you, ma'am. So, thank you so much. And good evening to you all, my friends, delegates, eminent speakers, and ABP. So, I will present the role of Agile Project Management in the era of digital transformation. Since last 2 days almost, we have been listening to the eminent speakers about the digital transformation and everything digital. So I will not go into the details of this, but how we manage the project. We should manage the project as well in this particular area. So, to touch upon, basically digital transformation, we have seen that the eminent speakers have told about how we improve the efficiency, how we enhance the customer value, and the quick change that we adopt will give rise to our risk in the system, which is basically something is fundamentally changing. And what is changing? It is changing today's world of doing the business as a whole, and the business model, which is changing and already on the way. So our role from the Project Management Institute, how we capture and how we nurture and how we take it forward. These are the examples of the current digital transformation which has already happened, and few of them are already on the way. We are very much familiar with these applications which are already there. And these are the things we are taking the advantage of it. What's new? Transformation over the years had already been happening. And transformation means the changes within the organization was faster than the change happening outside. Means right from the gramophone to the MP3 players. So what's new? When the change outside overridden the change inside the organizations, and we see all these brands have come up and taken up the new challenge of taking their organization forward. Needless to say what these companies have done, but they have brought forward the disruptions. So the disruptions is basically a threat to the other organization, and how they have succeeded in doing it. Inability of other organization to catch up with the current trend and with the current technologies, as well as the big data. They could not use it, and the quick change was not captured. That is the agility. They failed in the agility. And the previous companies, they have succeeded in capturing the agility, means quick change in no time with the right set of mindset at the right time. So why do organizations embrace digital transformation? For three things, as we have summarized: the increasing customer expectations, digital, so basically this is the key. Customers nowadays need data now. It is not getting to be waited for a long hour, but we need it now. And this is the entry point of our agile movement, agile journey. And the digital native companies are far ahead because that is the effect of the implementation of our agility. Change the readiness means change. As soon as the change comes, it has to be captured in our requirements and built in within our system, in the DNA of the system, and get it delivered. Three key things which have been taken forward by the organization for the success, and they have done it. So disruptions was there. Is it very new concept? Never. It had been already told by Charles Darwin that it is not the strongest of the species that survive, not the most intelligent, but the most responsive to change. So it was there, nothing new. Old wine in a new bottle. When I was building the slides, I was talking to my son in one of the dining table, in one of the dinner times, and he said, "Dad, what's for us? In this era of digital transformation, in the agility, what your generation is living for us?" I stopped for a while. And then he started giving me a suggestion that you have to reskill. We have to reskill. Understanding his viewpoints, I thought how to put up the slides. So this is a slide which very much clearly explains in our previous times and Calcutta and cricket. So that is the reason I have chosen this topic to depict the change and the strategy, how it happens. In our previous days, we have seen the 5-day cricket. The test matches were played with a different with a defined strategy, that slip and the gully. But as the days changed, we can see 3 pictures and 3 different shots has been shown. So Dill Scoop, switch hit, and our beloved Sachin, that is the uppercut. So these were the 3 strategies I think we all know what are the meaning of these 3 hits. And these 3 hits are major examples of current strategy of cricket. They have never been used in our previous times. Probably the middle one, that is the switch hit, once used by the England captain in 1987 World Cup, it was severely criticized and he was penalized. But nowadays, it is very difficult to get this kind of hits and the players, and they are very much demanded. It means that the strategy has changed and it is now demanding. Another adaptability. In our previous days when we are young, when we went to school and the teacher used to ask us after vacation, write an essay on your vacation. What you did in a summer vacation, winter vacation, stuff like that. And now the kids are very smart. They are replying, "Have you not observed my tweets?" Meaning that the tweets are now joined, the tweet messages are now joined to come up with the essay. Why should I wait till I come back? I give you immediate the change. So directly or indirectly, the entire society has adopted this agility, the change, the right moment to adapt at this point in time and not tomorrow. So meaning that agility is now within ourselves, within us. It has hit our doors, it has knocked our doors, and we have already adapted that. This is what the PMI believe, and we have, from the PMI perspective, we have embedded that into our DNA, the starting point. Organizational strategy, meaning that well before the planning, the vision, what exactly the strategy giving us? It is giving us the vision. Who is holding this vision, or rather who is generating this vision? It is the leader Example, Uber. The success of Uber of today is the business benefit that we have got from the customer, means us. And who is the gainer? Who has owned the pride? The visionary, the leader, who has seen that particular, in the ancient, previously. So even this has been framed and designed by the PMI in a way that they're saying the organizational strategy must have a visionary and the vision, and the outcome is our benefit of success. It is not a benefit that we will get tomorrow, but it is now. I need to have a customer benefit gained right now. Who is bridging these two? The project management. That is what we are trying to preach and teach to the general, to the community, general community. It means to anybody and everybody, whether we are within an organization or whether we are working at home. It is with us. This is how the picture very clearly talks about how we have formulated and designed and came up with, or rather, how do we conceptualize this concept. So basically, in terms of PMI, it is called 3 pillars. Okay? The first one is the strategic focus. Whatever we have been discussing now, that it starts with a strategy and the vision, so that is encapsulated in the first pillar. So there must be a visionary, there must be a thought which will generate me a customer benefit at the end. So that is my strategic focus. The next one is the customer centricity, meaning it is giving an answer for whom. So what is the answer should come up from the first pillar, because it is a strategy, it is a roadmap driving to what, and for whom. It is a customer centricity, means it is everything and anything and everything for our customer. We cannot do any sacrifice. So that is customer expectation, meeting customer expectation. And the third one is agility, meaning take the change right now with the right person at the right spot. We cannot wait for tomorrow. This is how PMI have imbibed these 3 thoughts in 3 strategic pillars. How this roadmap is driven. Okay, so this one is giving you some kind of PMI-ism, means PMI thought of these 3 pillars, whatever we have discussed right away. Now, this is our framework, and this framework is helping to ride our success in the way that we have defined in our strategy. It is called PMI Talent Triangle, and it has the 3 arms. As we talked about the vision means the leader and the leadership skills. PMI talks about, in order to do a project or successful project management, that person, whoever it is doing it, must have a leadership skill. And we'll see what exactly are the requirements for a leadership skill. The second point, what is demanded is that because it is changing so rapidly, it is changing so fast, we have to take the change. And the question, what change? And where we are going to end? How to do it? That is our technical domain. In our previous days, probably we were not at all, or rather not much involved into the technicalities, but nowadays it is a very clear requirement that technicalities or the technical expertise must be known, must be completely known by a project manager who is managing a project. The third one is very, very important. That is the strategic and the business management, meaning that how do we deal with our requirements, how do we manage our risks and stuff like that. So these 3 things, these 3 brilliant aspects of the project management has been taking care of our roadmap. Now, this gives a little bit about the definition about the technical project management, the knowledge and skills, what we talked about, the domain skills, and domain skills will be encircling around these behaviors and these characteristics. Sorry. What we get out of it? What is the outcome? If we follow that particular arm, we'll get the proper guidance on the requirement gathering techniques, project control and scheduling. We will see later on how this project control and scheduling is a little bit differently accepted in the Agile methodology compared to our Waterfall methodology. We'll see that. And risk management Here, the risks are huge, complex, and needs to be mitigated immediately. Scope management, agile tools and techniques. Leadership, very, very important, as we are already talking about the vision, the strategy, the vision, and that vision will be taken care by a leader. It is not only the vision, the leader must understand who is going to take or carry this vision forward to give the reality of the show. We will see to it. What is coming? What are the key attributes of the leadership skills? That person must have a negotiation skills. Very, very clear negotiation skills. Conflict management, conflict everywhere. In project, we have conflict, but while we do an agile project management, which is a very short duration, and as we talked about, immediate means very short duration. So if there is at all any conflict, it is definitely going to hit our schedule. So that needs to be clear immediately, and that skill has to be there. Motivation, we all know. Without a motivation, a person can't work, and as per our PMI definition, motivation doesn't come only with remuneration or any material value. It comes with our contribution. So why and how the person will contribute will be taken care by the motivation. A leader must know how to motivate. So likewise, problem solving and team building. Problem solving skills, very, very important. We must, as we are leader, we must stand forward as a lead by example. Example, Netaji. Lead by example. When he was in Germany, and on the day when he has delivered a speech, in spite of the curfew, everybody, had been putting the radio in the ears, in spite of the strict curfew and a lot of disciplines, and they heard their leader. So that is the leadership skills that we are talking about. Emotional intelligence, very, very important. A leader must know how to take care of person's emotion. One quick example, it's from Wings of Fire. Professor Abdul Kalam Sahab, he was in the mission of Agni 1, and Professor Dhawan, he was the project director. We all know Agni 1 failed. And when Agni 1 failed, there was a huge cry and disturbance which came up, and there was a press conference. And in that press conference, Kalam Sahab went to Dr. Dhawan and said, "Sir, I want to come with you." Dr. Dhawan said, "No, I will go. You go back to your work." And he faced this challenge of probably we know what could have happened that. In the few years later on, when Agni 2 mission was launched, it was successful. And then Professor Dhawan came and told Kalam Sahab, "Kalam, you are going to meet the press. It is not me." This is a very clear example how a leader is motivating and even giving the emotional courage to raise the intelligence within his own team. Strategic and business management, knowledge and expertise in the industry and organization. Very, very important, as we have to nurture this skill as well. And this is the thing that we get out of it. So now, what is the crux of the discussion that we have till now? Unless and until we have a winning team, we will fail. And it is very, very imperative and very much important that in agile method of doing a work, when the work is very short in duration, we must have a winning team to win the war. Otherwise, we are definitely going to fail. Outcome. When the world is increasing exponentially in the business area, and if we do not keep our ears and eyes open to the change, then competitive deficit is a must. So before this competitive deficit comes up, whenever we see the crisis, even before that, PMI says that you should start thinking of changing your colors. Now, few points about the basic organizational agility principle. It is all about taking a risk. Why? Again, because it is a very short duration. Risk will come and they have to be mitigated at the earliest it is possible. Change. And the agility is all about the change. So the change is so rapid, scope is so volatile, risks are there, and how to take care of that. We have to take care with a diligent project, program, and portfolio management skills. And that is what PMI is teaching all over. We have certifications. I'll come to that. So to take care and get expertise in the project, program, and the portfolio management. This is a difference between two approaches that we see regularly in our traditional approach, example Waterfall, and the Agile projects. So in PMI, we have 10 knowledge areas, and they have been segregated accordingly with a differentiation, where we are differentiating and how we are differentiating. So basically, when we talk about the traditional projects and the integration management, that takes care of all the subsidiary 9 plans embedded in a big fat documentation. In the Agile projects, we go with a different approach. We come with vision statements. We come with release plans, very, very important, because there are releases which comes up in every week or every 2 weeks as per the definition, and iteration plans, daily stand-up meetings. Agile never believes that meetings will be more than 15 minutes. Agile projects always demand that the meeting times should not be more than 15 to 20 minutes, max half an hour, and that should be taken care mostly during the tea breaks, and that is the reason the stand-up definition came up. And backlog management, because in every iteration there could be a chance of getting a backlog in the previous iterations. How do we manage that? That is all about the integration management difference. What about the scope management? In traditional approaches, we take care of the entire scope. In the waterfall model, we go to the customer, we take the requirements, we frame up with a scope. Unless and until the scope is frozen and signed off, we don't go to the next phase. Agile says no. If we have to take the thing rapidly, then the scope must be taken in a blocks. So we take the scope in the blocks with a particular functionality aspect, and we go with the evolutionary scope. Means we take one function and we go to the next function. Example, Uber. When Uber was developed, so if we look at the development, or rather the approaches that they have made it, so probably they came up with the navigation. So how the navigation will work? Then they probably came up with a booking. So how the booking will? So each and every functional aspects will have its own requirements, frozen that, and then delivered within few weeks or a month maximum. It will not go beyond it. And then the next scope, the piece of scope will come. It will be conceptualized and delivered. So likewise, as we go on iterations by iterations, we club them and we see the impact in the POC, proof of concept. And then later on, the big bang delivery comes up. So that gives a customer satisfaction, as we started with. Every time we deliver one small scope, rather I would say one functionality, customer understands, yes, my things are getting done. Not only this, customer even understands that my vendor has understood me very clearly. Time management. In our traditional approaches, we go by WBS, work breakdown structure. We take the scope, we break it down to work, we go to WBS, and then we go to the scheduling. It is a long, lengthy process with approvals at every stage, intermediary milestones. But here, it is not like that. As we are talking about the smaller piece of the scope, so means the functionality, we go by the story points. We call a storyline, story point. And then we develop the iterations. Based on each story, we build iteration or iterations that will end in a very specific and definite timeline, not more than a month. So it might be a 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 week, depending upon the cycle. Cost management, not much impact. Not much impact of the cost, but the next one is the quality management, very, very important. Agile talks about no extra cycle for quality testing. Quality is inbuilt. Okay? So quality must be inbuilt when we design this particular or come up with the iterations, and it must be delivered with each iteration. No additional steps or no additional timelines will be provided. Resource management. As we talk about the small cycles in Agile, so managing a team of 100 people probably is not a question. Managing a smaller team, as winning team we have seen that. So probably each iteration must have a very specific defined team who will ultimately lead you to the success and business benefit realization. So team skill is very, very important, and reskilling, as we have shown that, it is also very much important. risk management, huge. Risk management has taken a ride on the traditional project risk management because it's immediate and no time for tomorrow. So diligency, innovation, and which will add on to your risk management, effective risk management, greatly rather. Stakeholder management, another important and gray area of the project management, which ultimately dictates a project success or failure. In this kind of thing, we call sponsor or the key stakeholder. And in the case of traditional project management, there were multiple stakeholders at the multiple business units. Probably this will be focused for one particular business unit when we are delivering a particular piece of function. And that is the reason the burden, the overload of the stakeholder management is not that huge in iterations. That releases the tension in the project manager, in the project management environment. What we should do? Long life learner. We should be very clear to ask, learn, diverse interest, very, very important. Do something, this is the recommendation from the PMI, do something outside your work. Example, learn violin. If you are not there, do a painting, write a book, whatever it is, but it must be outside your work area, completely different from your work area. Keeping the ears and eyes open and encourage dissent means criticism is the breakfast of the intellectuals. Unless and until it's a mirror, unless and until we see ourselves in the mirror, we can't excel. Accept criticisms and fear of failure, conquer fear of failure. PMI is very much rich in documentation and articles. So if you go to the www.pmi.org, we will get to see all these things which will help you to get ahead. And I belong to PMI West Bengal chapter, and along with me, I have a board of 9 people who are driving this PMI West Bengal chapter. Some of them are already here in this particular room. Probably I'll get you introduced. And also we have a stall outside. You will get to know about each one of them. If you come to us, it will take some time to explain to you, and you will see how it is beneficial for your work. The last one, good things happen when you stay involved with PMI. I would extend one line beyond. Good things even happen if we come and join us as a volunteer, because we are a volunteer organization. We support and promote project management within our community, within our organizations, and we would be love to have you as a volunteer member, because we believe in membership and volunteerism, and we will even give you the chance to work in a platform of nurturing your leadership, sharpening your leadership skills without any authority. So you get to learn, nurture your passion and get it done. And this is how we can drive India to a big success for tomorrow. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. May I request Mr. Chandan Majumdar, Director Sales, ABP Private Limited, to kindly come forward and present a memento to Mr. Sumit Kumar Sinha. Thank you very much for this wonderful session.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.